Hey everybody, it's Brett, and it's Sunday Night Live, a completely unprepared one, but Sunday Night Live regardless, and here I am. And I hope that lots of people join me tonight, even though I don't really have a whole lot written down or any kind of specific subjects, plans to talk about, any of that. I do have my water. And I've been getting a lot done lately. Mmm, really good. But yeah, I've been making a bunch of videos. If you haven't noticed, I'm sure some of you've watched them. And I've really been getting out and getting sort of social, if that's what you want to call it. And hope you guys have been doing good and enjoying the new energy of, people that think that they're safe. And people that maybe have built up an immune resistance strength against COVID and all of that. But who's out there? Who goes there? Um, let's see, what is there to talk about? I have been, and the subject of this video is that what I'm doing is just playing my game. That's the deal. I am playing my game. And even if people reject me for whatever reason, if they think that they want to socially distance from me for whatever reason, I'm like, okay. But the deal is that I'm sticking to my own ideas. I'm sticking to my own thoughts. Whatever they, my experience tells me that what I'm doing is correct, and that the things that I've been working on for the last 28 years and beyond are working, but it's just a matter of time. And so, that's what I'm doing. When you get older and you've experienced and you've seen the pros and cons of relationships, diet, all the different things that I'm working on. Thanks, CP. And yeah, there are people out there that will argue about all of the things that the traditional BS things that I'm against as much as they want to. And they can just continue to do those things. And I'll continue to do my things. And I'm trying to not push people's buttons too much, because I realize that it takes time for people to realize and to change and all of that. I mean, it took me 8 years to quit wheat and dairy, I was persistent though, and I'm continuing to be persistent. And another example is that it's taken me a lot longer to completely and to gradually reduce animal foods. Some people can do it very quickly, but the more issues that you have, the longer it takes you to work on each one. And it's just kind of like an allergic load. You have all of these different things. Imagine that you have a lot of things to do in your day. You can't just do them all at once. You have to gradually do them one at a time. And that's just how it is. And I think that Americans must have created their own pile of things to do. They have so much on their plates that, it's going to take a long time for them to start getting physically healthy again. They've taken on so many mental things, and it coincides perfectly with like a college education. If you go to college, they'll give you this giant plate of various subjects to learn. And that's exactly coinciding with the money that they want to make, because they want you to have all of these things that you have to learn, because the more classes, the more debt you get into. I've been telling you guys about that forever, and now, like in the last several years, it's become kind of apparent that a college debt, they're all screaming, would you pay off our college debt for us? Would you please pay it off for us? You know, and for me, I'm like, well, is there any way that I can just avoid all of it? You know, can I just make a living doing something that's not requiring some kind of a degree? So that's what I'm doing here. I'm sewing pillows and I'm making videos and I'm teaching things that I think are just slightly more valuable than knowing the history of human idiocy. So, I mean, that's another thing that I was thinking about tonight that you really should know. And that is that you should not be too dependent upon your fellow human beings. Okay? Because if you look at the intelligence of human beings, if you look at their past history, this is one of the reasons that you should study history a little bit, to know how stupid and just completely insane your ancestors have been. You know, so not all of them, but like, look at what they've bought into, you know, just to survive. Look at the wars that people have gone into, and just the Americans thought that they could control Korea. They thought that they could control Vietnam. Recently, they thought that they could civilize people in Afghanistan. And there's a purpose for all of these things, and to a degree, they have civilized those countries. But at the same time, I think that the intentions need to be realistic, and that they should just be honest with people and say, okay, well, you know, Vietnam, they're going to make it. China and Russia are going to try and communize that country. And what we can do is we can go in and offset that to a degree. There's no way that we can actually prevent that from happening, because people are so primitive in those countries that there's no way that they're going to be able to be completely democratic. But we can somewhat offset that, and maybe we can draw a line, and the South people can be, the people in the South of Korea can be somewhat civilized, and the people in the North can be ruled by communists. And so, you know, it's the same with Russia. Look at Russia. You can only civilize that country so much. You know, that they can only be converted to a democratic society so quickly. It's just not going to happen overnight. There, you know, if it were Russia, I mean, if Russia, the people in Russia were like people in the United States, how long would they put up with a Putin? About as long as we've put up with Trump, you know? So we put up with Trump and his BS for 4 years, and now he's out. And so, you know, I don't know. I don't have a particularly long list of things in my mind to talk about tonight. I was just kind of lonely. So I'm probably just going to watch some Star Trek, have some tea. Thank you to anyone that's to the people that have purchased pillows from me recently and products. I really appreciate you. So what was it? It wasn't Evan. It wasn't Diane. Chris. So thanks to Chris for buying the squatting toilet platform that I had demonstrated for you guys. I decided to sell the squat what's it called? The Squatmeister. I can't remember. The Squatmeister squatting platform. I like my wooden one. I do like that one, the Squat Joy. I do like the Squat Joy, and that's why I advertised it to you guys. But I really wanted to have one to provide to people because people had been asking me for something for a while. They've been asking me when I was going to start making the wooden ones. And I really just don't have time to make everything. But I wanted to provide one, and since somebody else was offering that, I did. But I didn't really want to keep that one over my wooden one. I like my wood one. So I sold the Squat Joy for $100 to Chris, and he's going to really enjoy that, and he's going to get squatting, which is what every one of you should start doing. I tell you this as one of the top 10 things probably. There's a bunch of really important things that everyone should do for their health, and squatting is one of those things. And it's an obvious thing, and I don't know why people don't jump on it. So any of you that are not squatting to take a crap, you should know that that is probably, it's at least one of the top 20 things that a person can do, a person that's a toilet sitter can do for their health. Because it's just, I mean, you'll see, it doesn't feel anything like sitting. And it's after about a week of squatting, you're like, my God, what was I missing? Why didn't this idiot society teach me about this before? It's amazing. It's seriously amazing to me, all of the different things that humans do to throw a wrench into their health. You know, putting poisonous mercury amalgam in people's mouths, in their teeth, instead of just telling them the truth about eating demineralized food. You know, that's one of the top 10 for sure, eating processed food, and to stop doing that. But anyways, you'll notice that I'm not yellow today. I'm not mellow yellow. I'm mellow, but I'm not yellow. And that is because I took out the yellow light bulb. There it is. I took out the yellow light bulb tonight and put in just a regular daylight bulb. I hope I'm not too bright, but I'm sure that I'm crisp and clear, right? Do I look good? Should I turn a little bit better? Am I almost too bright? Doofwagon. You know, I'm telling you guys, I don't know how I could survive without somebody watching me named Doofwagon. How could that possibly even be that I'm alive? I think to myself, like, back the years past, I was like, back in 2015, I was thinking to myself, 2015, I didn't have a viewer named Doofwagon. I guess I just kept praying a lot that somebody like that would come along. Hey, Susan Madavi, I've got some good news for you. I don't know if you saw this in my earlier video, but I recently added FedEx to my shipping. And so I've got 3 carriers now, USPS, FedEx, and UPS Ground. And yesterday, someone from Canada ordered 2 millet hole pillows from me, and I looked at the shipping, and they'd chosen FedEx, and it was about 40%, something like that. 40% less than USPS. It was only about $50 to ship 2 pillows to Canada. And I had read, so I never thought, no, and nobody ever told me. I never thought, and nobody ever told me that the advantage of FedEx is that their international shipping is cheaper. I had no idea. Why didn't you guys tell me that? Shouldn't people in Canada know? Shouldn't they know that FedEx is the best way to ship from the US to them? And wouldn't they tell me? They didn't. So I just kind of stumbled onto it because I decided to add that. because the shipping plugin provider for my website offers anybody. You can add any kind of shipping to your website, and so I did. It didn't cost me anything, and I added it. And they've actually been beating UPS to the West Coast by $1 or $2, something like that. And now my UPS rep is going to have to lower my rate and give me a better deal. And so I'm waiting for him to call me back. We keep playing phone tag. But the coolest thing is that people, I'm not sure about Australia. I don't know. I don't know about the UK. But if you live in another country and you'd like to buy one of my pillows or some product, you should go to my site and check it out and see what the rates are, because I think you're going to be happy. So I read online that's the main advantage with FedEx, that international shipping is significantly better. Hey, Taylor there. Oh, Scott. Scott, how are you? Scott, did you hear that? You should check it out. I know you're worried about the customs for a Millet pillow, but like I said, I just put therapeutic pillow, or I just put pillow. I usually just put pillow. They're not gonna look. And you can probably now get the shipping from FedEx a lot cheaper. I'm not positive because I just started it. I bought a wooden spine roller from you a long time ago. I use it every single day. It has improved my life and posture. Thanks, Brett. Thanks, Nicholas. That's what I like to hear. Those wooden rollers, I'll show you mine. It's just a freaking total beater. This is the first wooden spine roller ever made, as far as I know. I mean, I would guess that cavemen made one out of a piece of log millions of years ago, you know? But as far as a modern roller is concerned, this is the very first one that was ever made, and I didn't make it. I didn't have had very little woodworking equipment, and so I had some woodworker dude in Asheville make this for me. And he made it out of pine, as you can see, and he turned it on a lathe. Not the way I do it, but he turned it on a lathe. He made it out of pine, and it's laminated 4 pieces. And it looks kind of cool being like end grain, doesn't it? It looks kind of cool. Like he book matched it, see? Well, that one anyway, not that one. But he book matched that one. But this roller right here has cracked my back thousands of times in the last 10 years. And look, the rubber that I had on the outside of it was kind of getting shabby looking, because remember when I traveled around the country, I was like rolling with it on dirt and on the road and on grass and all of that. And it was still good rubber, but I was like, you know what? I want to try putting some of that wool. I want to dip wool in liquid latex and put that on there. Look at that. That stuff is so strong, you wouldn't believe it. That's felt. That's wool felt from sheep. And I dipped it in liquid latex and wrapped it on there and then painted another coat on it. It's so strong. It's like super strong. You can roll on that anywhere. I could take that to New York and roll on it all over. I could take that to South Chicago and roll on it in the ghetto in the middle of the night, and they'd freaking shoot me and I'd be dead. I could take it to East LA. Okay, so check it out. I took one of my kombuchas, a commercial bottle that I'd already drank, and filled it with some of my home brew. It gives the illusion that I'm drinking a fancy kombucha, but I'm not. I'm drinking my own healthy home brew, much healthier. So I think I would like to turn on the diffuser. Should we turn on the diffuser? Let's Let's run some fumes, baby. Yeah, that looks cool, huh? It's like I'm in some movie or something, huh? I'm in the fog. Does it look like? Here, let's try to let's change the lighting here. Can you see the fog still, or no? Hey Susan, how come you took off your message there? The smoke machine, Rockstar with smoke machine. Oh, thank you, thank you. So how do you deal with dental issues? I have plenty, and like you, I don't really like medical doctors. I've found eating raw garlic has helped a lot. Well, Nicholas, I'll tell you that, let me turn just a little bit here. That really helped, huh? So, Nicholas, I'll tell you that when your digestive system is really polluted and full of bacteria, then you're going to have dental problems. And when you're cleansing and healing your body, and you've got and you're doing a lot of enemas, you're going to have mineral absorption problems. And so the combination of those two things means that you just need to hang on and keep doing your thing and listening to your body. And this is a perfect example of how each and every one of us is going to gradually lose it. What does that mean, that we're going to gradually lose it? Well, see that? See? We're going to gradually lose a lot of things. And it's just a matter of time. And you want to just keep working, doing your best to not lose things as much as you can. And one of the things that I do is I consume a lot of antioxidant foods. These are foods that have a lot of color in them. And berries are really like that. The berries do that. The berries have so much color. Be sure and really wash your berries good, because all fruits, like I've told you before, are sprayed heavily. Even organic are sprayed with various funkiness. That smoke is kind of bugging me. It's not smoke, it's a diffuser, you know. I like it. I like the smell, but it's kind of bugging me. So of course, you know, I've been to the dentist to have teeth removed every time they get too bad, they're hurting, you know. And right now I have one filling that's about half fallen out, and I have to chew with this side of my mouth mostly. I'm waiting for that one to do what another one has done, which is kind of heal naturally over the top of the root that's exposed. So, but the one thing that I've learned is that the ways that they quick fix people's teeth can be really deadly, actually. And my mom actually told me once that one of the doctors at the hospital that she worked at died from a root canal. That's right. She told me that one of the doctor's root canals was so infected that this guy actually ended up dying from it. And it doesn't surprise me, because if you look up root canal problems, if you watch Dr. Mercola's video on that, he'll tell you all the detrimental problems with root canals. And, you know, maybe the white fillings are okay, and I still have one or two of those in my mouth, and I still have a couple of crowns, the white porcelain crowns. But man, especially with the cost, that alone will kill you. And I was really blessed to have a pretty good dentist when I lived down by the Mexican border in New Mexico, Silver City, because I could drive 45 minutes down to the border. And my good friend and dentist, Oscar Perez Dentist, you can look him up, just south of Deming. I can't remember the little town, just south of Deming, New Mexico, about 30 minutes south there. You go over the border, and you can go to Dr. Oscar Perez and get your teeth worked on for a lot less than American doctors. And that's what the old people do. They drive down in their RVs and they get their teeth worked on. And Oscar does really good work. He's amazing. He drives all the way from Juarez into El Paso, all the way over to Deming, and then all the way up to his office to work like 3 or 4 days a week. It is amazing, amazing. He and his wife are both dentists, and they live in Juarez. That's what Juarez is, a war. It's one of the most dangerous cities. You know, you can live in a decent area of any town, though, and that he probably does because he makes good money. So my root was infected. Worst pain ever been in. I had to have the surgery to remove it and replace the tooth with porcelain. Yeah, but you probably had a root canal put in there, and that's not good. I should have ordered a millet pillow for my daughter. You should order one, yes. How do you feel with dental issues? Would you consider Jay Masters the ultimate father figure? I don't know. I just visited your site. Was a FedEx option going to be added to your site? Couldn't find it. Well, you have to go to the checkout. You have to go to the checkout page. Was it not on there? Should have been on there. You know what? Hang on just 1 second. Perhaps I needed to have all the FedEx options. See, it could be, I don't know about Australia, because the only FedEx option that I decided to leave on there was FedEx Ground. And settings, FedEx Ground. And because Canada is right next door to the US, it could be that Canada and maybe Mexico are the only two that have the decent FedEx Ground rates. But I'll add, Scott, let me add the other two back on. I'm on the back end of my site here. I can do it real quick. Everybody hang on here. I'll do this quickly. So yeah, it might be that FedEx Ground doesn't go across the ocean. Rates and services. And also, you know, if you live, somebody was pissed off at me the other day that lives in Cambodia. They said, shame on you, Brett, for not shipping to Cambodia. And I was like, oh, sorry. I'm just not going to ship to, I'm only going to ship to more of the first world countries. And the reason for that is that I just cannot afford to have mail stolen, mail not arrive, you know, boxes, $150 boxes not arrive, because if something doesn't arrive, then I'm pretty much screwed. I can file an insurance claim, but man, it takes time to get paid for stuff. And all right, that international economy and first. Okay. Okay, Scott, go back and refresh the page and see what happens. So go back and refresh the page and see if you get a FedEx option now. But I kind of don't think that, I mean, it's possible that it might be a lot more expensive to ship it over the ocean. I still smoke cigars, David. Ha ha, but otherwise I have made progress too. So check it out. Recently, like this spring, I kind of got back into watching the Padres for the first time in God knows how long. Largely because of COVID, maybe from thinking about my dad, because, you know, he moved to San Diego. He was a San Diegan. And I largely grew up in San Diego and went to Padres games when I was a kid, once in a while when my dad would take me. And grew up with Tony Gwynn and Ozzie Smith and Dave Winfield. You guys have heard of those guys, right? But anyways, recently the Padres have kind of spent quite a bit of money on their players, and they've got some good players. And they had like a 12-game winning streak. And then all of a sudden, I think that they just suffered a serious letdown because they started losing and losing. They were in first place. They were beating the Dodgers and the Giants. And now they're 5 games back. But they've now had a 4-game winning streak. And for those of you that are in Cincinnati, I'm sorry, because the Padres beat you 4 straight games, and the last one was today. But yeah, I checked it out, and this is the first time the Padres have won a 4-game series against a team, all 4 games, since 2011. That's been 10 years. So they're kind of back on it again a little bit. But I'll tell you what, how many of you are sports fans? You like to watch some kind of a sport and you're like a die-hard fan. If you think about that, it's about as illogical as monogamy. Okay? I mean, think about it. The guys that are playing for your pro sports team, most of them, if not all of them, they're not even from your town. You may have a few like the Padres that are, but they're not only not from your town, but they're being paid millions of dollars. I mean, and think about that and how it coincides with many of the things that I tell you are not good in our world today, and largely based upon people's weaknesses. You see, if people were stronger, they wouldn't need idols. Okay. So it's a strange world because we all kind of need them, but some people just idolize them to the point of idiocy. Like the Royals. Think about the Royals, and I'm not talking about the Kansas City Royals. I'm talking about the UK Royals. You know, the Queen of England and her sons, and at least the one son married an American woman, and they've kind of exposed them again, like Diana did. Like, the truth always rises to the surface, friends. And this is another perfect example of that, of how the Royals, and look at the, like, you can tell the truth about if people are goons or not, if they're by the clothes that they wear, you know. And the more goony their clothes are, and the more that they're trying to project an image. They're trying to project some magical image to people. Like my dad every day would wear a 3-piece suit to try and look professional, because that's what you do when you're an accountant. You have to wear a suit and a tie. But if you're a royal, think about that shit. If you're a royal on certain occasions, you have to wear these clothes like you wouldn't believe. Probably clothes that have been worn by their ancestors for hundreds and hundreds of years. And you have to have a crown on your head. And think about this. There are advanced beings don't glorify those people and the clothes that are wearing and things. people like Mr. Spock would think that they're interesting. Well, he might not put them down. Spock was a good dude, and he wouldn't put them down. But he'd probably look at them and he'd say, interesting. Very interesting, Captain. Primitive, but interesting. But there are people in the UK that think that it's just the thing, that it's just like, oh my God, the Queen, the Queen. So I hope that my viewers are not that goony. I hope that it's one of the things that if you're an American versus a British person, especially if you're a British person that just idolizes the royals, it's not a good sign for you. It's not a good sign for you. It's kind of like if you're somebody that idolizes Donald Trump, it's not a good sign for you. I hate to say that, but not really. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm just telling you the things that I think. Do I think insulin is safe to inject if you're a 340 pounds and insulin resistant? Hang on, let me find a coin and flip it for you. Here, I'll just flip this thing. And if it comes up with that as the top, then it's yes. If it comes up with that as the top, then it's no. It's no. It's no. I'm sorry, man. The answer is no. Keep it at Nicholas. All good. I'll make it happen. Yeah. Taylor, did you buy? Let me see if Taylor bought a pillow. Taylor, you didn't buy a pillow yet. It's all right, man. It might be really expensive, but at least for Canadians, you can do FedEx Ground and get a pretty good price, and maybe Mexico. Joe, are you out there? If Joe's out there, if Joe is out there, Joe, you might be able to get a pillow too with FedEx Ground. But let's see. All right, let's pick a couple of these dang things. We've talked enough about the Royals, that's for sure. We could talk about the Kansas City Royals, but I don't watch them. But really, you shouldn't. If you guys are sports fans, don't freak too much if your team loses. You know, don't be all depressed and stuff. That's another thing. Like if you lose your wife, if you lose your pet, I mean, I know I was devastated for a while there. But the sign of a strong person is if they can lose their most cherished things and get through it with not too much damage. If you know what I mean. I can separate myself from people and or things that don't suit my needs for healing. I love this one. I love it. Even if those people or things are near and dear to me, like family. Okay. So I guess in the US you have two options, to be a dope like Trump or to be dopey like Biden. Well, I don't think Joe is too bad, you know. Joe's an old guy. Joe's pretty old. And I think his brain is working. I think he's really kind of taken on the role, and he's not stuttering like he used to. He's really thinking pretty decent, I think. Who wants one of these fortune papers? Scott, do you want one of these fortune papers? Wisdom papers? You know, you guys can download these on my site for free. All 110 or 20 of them. Okay, let's hook it up. This one's for Scott. All of life is sacred because it is an opportunity to experience mortality and improve upon and develop the spirit. See, that's what I've always thought. I've thought that this is a physicality that helps us to improve and develop our spirits. And I was thinking about my dad today, and because, it's Father's Day. And I was hoping that he really did that. I was like, I hope my dad improved his spiritual essence, at least the last part of his life. Maybe the whole life, of course, the whole life. Even when he was at the bar, I hope that he was a reasonable person when he was talking to people and whatever. I hope that he improved his spirit. I don't really miss my dad. I didn't talk to him for like 6 years, 5, 6 years before he died. Jennifer, if you would like, I will go grab the tarot cards and I will pick one for you. And I will read the meaning of that card in the special book that I have. And I won't even charge you anything. Now, bear in mind, Jenny baby, that you only get one card. But it's better than a kick in your buttock region. Okay. First, we'll shuffle the cards. I have the traditional Rider card, tarot card deck. This one was printed in the early 70s, and it's in mint condition. And so you can see that I'm being very careful with it. Any thoughts on Chief Crackhead breaking up the misfits? Nope. Okay. That is for you, Jennifer. That is the Four of Wands. That is the Four of Wands. Take a look. Take a good look at that. Jenny. Do you know what that means, Jennifer? If you don't, I'm going to tell you with this book. Okay, wands, wands, wands. Okay. Four of Wands. Element fire. Astrological association, Venus in Aries. Number 4. Tree of life position, chest, the sphere of love. Key meanings, freedom, creativity, and domestic happiness. Sounds like a good card, Jen. Understanding the Four of Wands. One of the happiest cards of the Tarot's minor arcana, the Four of Wands shows celebration. Yes. A couple stands triumphant, holding up bouquets of flowers. 4 wands make an arbor hanging with garlands of ripe fruit, lemons, apples, plums, purple grapefruits, and pink blooms. 3 tiny figures are dancing outside the walls of the city. The scene might depict harvest time. The scene might depict harvest time, a public holiday, or even a wedding. Ooh, Jennifer, there you go. The inspiration for the card may draw upon 2 pagan festivals, Beltane or May Day. In Asheville, they used to have the Beltane Festival, but they don't have that anymore. If we see the wands as maypoles or llamas, the Celtic celebration of the first day of the harvest. May Day, held on May 1st, has its origins in the Celtic festival of Beltane, which celebrated the coming of spring and the end of seed planting. Maypoles, tall wands, were raised in villages where the people danced around them to honor fertility. A May queen and king were crowned with flowers, much like the couple on the four wands who, dressed in Roman-style robes, echo the origins of the celebration as the Roman holiday of Floria, or Festival of Flowers. The bright yellow background of the card signifies solar energy, the power of the sun to make all life grow. It also symbolizes consciousness, in that people present themselves to all to see in public celebration. They wear blue and red robes for truth and passion and the material world, respectively. The dominant red and yellow are similar to the colors of card 1, the the magician, with his luminous yellow background, rose briars and red robes, for the energy to manifest his desires. Strength, card 8, has a similar palette again for vitality and also acting with conscious awareness. Number 4 is the number of stability and balance. In the passionate suite of wands, it denotes security, shown by the perspective walls of the castle, and celebration. In the Kabbalistic Tree of Life, see page 234, the card links with chest, the sphere of love, which is why the card is often referred to as the honeymoon. Jennifer, I think you're getting married soon. Thoughts on Kim Hayes adopting her grandfather? Ugh, my prostate. Appreciate this, Brett. No wedding here. Well, maybe some kind of a celebration. It's almost the 4th of July. Upright meaning. This lovely card reveals success after completion. Success after completion. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting married. A time for reward. Socially, you will have the opportunity to celebrate and really enjoy yourself. The card predicts you will be brimming with confidence and full of vitality, like Vitality Massage. You also establish yourself in your work and at home, completing a building or remodeling project or moving to a larger property. The vibe of the card is putting down roots, just like the wands. People around you note your willingness to be a pillar of the community and involve yourself in local issues and social events. In work, your talent is appreciated, and you are full of ideas and enthusiasm. Maybe this is my card. Spiritually, the card shows that you share your light with others. This often comes up in readings to predict that a new partner or love interest will open their hearts and express love and affection. It is also known as the honeymoon card, literally, or as a time to celebrate, run free, and enjoy what life has to offer. I think this might have been for me, Jen, because this is like totally what I've been doing. Like everything seems to be coming around. It is auspicious for creativity and artistic projects flourish under the uplifting influence of the four wands. And I won't read the reversed meaning because I always keep these upright, and so I'm just a beginner tarot person, you know. Hey, Joe, what's up? Joe, if you just arrived, but you should know that I added FedEx to my site, and you might be able to get a lot better shipping of one of those millet pillows that you've been talking about buying from me if you go to my site now, because I have FedEx added as a shipper. Ah. Conservative Corvette. I don't keep up with all of that mainstream yada yada. I don't have hardly any desire to spend any time with all of those kinds of things. Any thoughts on Hollywood or any of that? Mr. Kanaka, what's going on? Maybe you need this card too. I'm a beginner reader myself. Does anybody else want a tarot card read to them and the meaning and all of that? Well, I got them out. How about you, Kanaka? Isn't that like a blast, a Kanaka blast? Something like that? Conservative muscle. Number one, 1% artistic. Is that what you are, conservative muscle? Did you see Father's live stream the other night? Father's live stream. No. Have you heard of Mandolin Orange, now called Watch House? A great band. Yeah, I've heard of them. I actually have heard of them. Yeah. I've watched several of their videos. I can't remember. Mandolin Orange. Yeah, because they're a bluegrass band. Tarot card. Are you part gypsy, Brett, or what? Do I look gypsy-ish, Joe? I could throw on one of those wig things that I've got. Yeah. What are they called? I can't even find it. Mandolin Orange. There's a lot of good bluegrass bands from North Carolina. It's kind of like, I think that's a lot of what people do when they're sitting around their houses, you know. They're blowing jugs and playing banjos and stuff. That's what they do in the mountains here. Especially if, you know, if your family's been living here for a long time and you got the property paid off and all you got to do is feed a couple of hogs. You can sit on the porch and blow a jug, drink a jug, and then blow a jug. I would pick Lenny. I would pick Lenny just because I like Lenny from you know, Lenny and Squiggy. Remember Lenny and Squiggy? So I'll pick Lenny. Will Dale Chance ever get past third place? Maybe. I don't know. So I'll tell you, as far as sports goes, I've been enjoying watching Fernando Tatis Jr. He is tied, I think, with the home run, 22 home runs so far this year with the leader. And he hasn't been up to bat near as much because he's got this left shoulder injury. And it's going to be tough for him, you know, as long as they keep putting him back out there. The problem is that he's going to keep injuring it. And if they're not careful with this guy, here's the problem. They signed him to the biggest, I think it's the biggest baseball contract of all time in San Diego. It's 14 years for $340 million. Think about that. He's just a kid. He's only like 22 or something. But that's a lot of money. And to have him on the bench healing from an injury, it's a very difficult thing. They've probably got some stipulations in that contract that he doesn't get paid as much if he's got an injury. I don't know. I have no idea. Okay. Now we're good. So anyways, yeah, I've got some good news to tell y'all about a trade I'm going to do soon. I'm going to learn how to throw a boomerang. Can you groove to that or what? Like, I can. I think it's going to be really fun. So there's this guy named Victor that's a famous YouTuber for throwing and making boomerangs. And the other day, he reached his 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. He's really quite popular now. Unlike me, you know, my channel's gone way down. People don't appreciate me, I guess. But I made the comment, congrats, I'm also a 100,000 subscriber YouTuber. And he said, hey, we should do a trade sometime. So I emailed him, and we're going to do a trade. And tomorrow I'm sending him a millet hull pillow, and hopefully soon he's going to send me a couple of boomerangs. And I'm going to make a video showing me throwing boomerangs and plugging his channel. And he's going to make a video, hopefully, and he enjoys my pillow that I sent him. And hopefully his viewers will want to buy some. But that kind of gets me going a little bit on doing some trades with other YouTubers, and I think I'm good to try that. I think I'm going to do it, y'all. I think it might be a really good way to promote my products, and all I got to do is sacrifice a few products and send them to some of them. Taylor, did you go back to my site and check the FedEx prices? I just I added the other FedEx options to it, so you should at least get a couple of prices. It might be a lot, but I don't know. So yeah. Have you guys ever thrown a boomerang before? I think I can't remember. I'm not sure. I may have tried somebody's boomerang, but I don't believe that I've ever actually bought one. But Victor has, I checked out his website. He has a whole bunch of different kinds and different shapes that he makes. I think they're mostly made out of plywood. But, you know, just a Frisbee. Yeah, me too. I really love playing Frisbee. I told you guys last week that I really enjoy like yard games, about as much as I do board games. But Joe, would you like a tarot card, man? Would you like me to pick a tarot card for you, Joe? Joe is my good friend in Mexico. Did I say that right? Oh yeah, Vegemite. I've heard of that. I can't say for sure that I'd actually eat Vegemite because I don't know what it is. But Joe, would you like me to pick one of these fortune papers or one of these tarot cards for you? I'll be your gypsy. Yeah, man, here you go. This one is for Joe. The King of Wands. That's pretty cool, isn't it, Joe? The King of Wands. I'll bet you that that's a pretty good card. Let's see what it says. It's a wands kind of night. It's a wands night. There's the Queen. There's the Queen of Wands. Knight of Wands. What the hell happened to the King of Wands? Hey. King of Swords. Ace of Wands. Two of Wands. Hey, I'm not finding the King of Wands. 4, 5, 7, 6, 8, 7, 8, 9. Page of Wands. Knight of Wands. Queen of Wands. Ah, it's a stuck page. King of Wands. Okay. Element, heir of the suit of fire. Another fire. Astrological associations, Cancer and Leo. This could be me again. This could be for me again. Chakras, the sacral, throat, and third eye for creativity, communication, and insight. Key meaning, an honorable man. This is for you and I, Joe. Understanding the King of Wands. You know, I'm picking it, but the intention was it was for you. So maybe there's a little bit of both of us in this. The King of Wands is an aspect of card 4, the Emperor or Father archetype who brings structure, order, and authority. The King of Wands is the Father aspect of the Emperor who offers inspiration and communication. The King's robe and the black of his throne are decorated with black salamanders, the creatures who have legendary fireproof skin. See also the Knight and Page of Wands, pages 226 and 227. A live salamander appears to the right of the card to reinforce its importance as a symbol of the king's suit element of fire. Lions also decorate the throne, and the king wears a lion head amulet around his neck. See the lions? Around his neck. A symbol of strength and protection linking with one of his zodiac signs, Leo the Lion. His wand has 4 buds, which relate to the number of his character card 4, the Emperor, and also symbolizes the 4 elements. His crown, cuffs, and cape. Oh, and I forgot to tell you guys, happy solstice. Today is the solstice. Yes. His crown, cuffs, and cape have flame motifs, and he wears a fiery orange robe and cloak. His cap is red. At first glance, it would appear that he has red hair. But this is actually called a cap of maintenance, worn by nobility and the other 3 minor arcana cards. That's actually a cap of nobility that fits under a crown. Red and orange denote passion in the real world or fiery ambition. The card's element is air of fire, which can be interpreted as fire that breathes. The more air a fire has to burn, the brighter the fire and higher the flames. This also reveals the king's challenge, to keep feeding his desire without burning himself out. The green of his cowl and shoes symbolizes nature and wood, which feeds a fire. So he is mindful that to thrive, he needs to be in a productive, supportive environment. Queens and kings in tarot are traditionally regarded as people in your life or people out to come into your orbit. However, you can also read the king as a general influence, so this interpretation is included last. And I won't read the upright meaning, but maybe just a little bit. Okay, as a person, this King of Wands is a man of the world, and it's likely that he has traveled widely, experiencing many cultures and countries. Talkative and energetic, his ideal vocations include business and management, communications and marketing, the travel industry, acting, and other roles that depend on self-motivation and individuality. He may be self-employed, running a business, or acting as a freelance consultant. He has wisdom, very high standards that he applies to himself and those around him, and strong integrity. Courteous and considerate, he stays true to his values and acts according to his moral code. He is open and self-aware, and does not judge other people on their backgrounds or beliefs. See, that's not me. He often learns by listening two people talk about their experiences. As a free spirit, he respects others who don't conform. As a potential partner, he is passionate and communicative. As an influence, this is the right time to express your ideas and be the individual you are. Summon your entrepreneurial spirit, make a plan, and what you propose will be well received. The practical support you need will be there, but you need to be the initiator. What you do now reflects your truth. Don't let perfectionism get in the way of your creativity. What you do is more than good enough. As the you card in the reading, be a free spirit. Okay, so here you go. As the you card in the reading, be a free spirit. That sounds good. As an influence, if two or more kings fall close together in a reading, the meanings are as follows. But we're only picking one card, so that doesn't apply. It's 11:32 p.m. NC time. Nope, it's 11:06. Nope, that is incorrect. How many states? Let me see. Okay. So anyways, I think I'm good for the night, y'all. I think I'd like to get some sleep. I really appreciate you joining me, and I hope that you are well. Have a great day. Have a great week, too.